The most amazing partner. Keith Urban stood under bright stage lights holding his shiny guitar. He had sung this song many times before, but tonight felt different. It felt heavy, like he couldn't hide the truth anymore. The crowd cheered and sang along. Then Keith changed one word in the song. That one quiet word was enough to break the dream that protected them for 19 years. For almost 20 years, Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman showed the world that love could beat fame. They smiled on red carpets, holding hands. They looked like the perfect love story. Everyone wanted to believe in them. They survived problems with drinking, being apart, Hollywood and cameras always watching them. They seemed like marriage could last forever. But in September 2025, everything broke apart. People magazine said they separated on September 29th. Nicole filed for divorce the next day. Suddenly, one changed lyric became big news. One silence became an ending. People watched that concert clip over and over. Fans looked for answers in his eyes, in her absence, in the quiet spaces where love used to live. What went wrong? Was it too much pressure? Or was it something more personal? Because the truth didn't start with a scandal. It started with two people looking for peace in a world that never stops watching. Two children, two stories. Nicole Kidman grew up in Australia with big dreams. At 23, she was young and believed in forever. Hollywood welcomed her. In 1990, she met Tom Cruise while making a movie called Days of Thunder. To Nicole, he wasn't just a co-star. He felt like destiny. Their chemistry was electric. Every photo and headline called them Hollywood's golden couple. But behind the applause, Nicole was disappearing. Her agents warned her, "He's too powerful. You'll lose yourself." But she was 23 and in love. By the time she was 34, she wasn't Nicole Kidman the actress anymore. She was just Tom's wife. Then one winter morning in 2001, Tom filed for divorce without warning. Nicole was shocked and alone. The children they adopted stayed closer to him. The woman who gave everything now stood in ruins. Her friends said she didn't eat for days. Privately, Nicole whispered, "I keep wondering if love always ends with loss." But she didn't let sadness win. She turned her pain into great movies. She poured her feelings into every scene. People called it brilliant acting. She called it survival. Somewhere inside, she still wanted a love that wouldn't make her give up herself. She wanted someone who would see the real her, not just her fame or beauty. Keith's story. Meanwhile, Keith Urban was born in New Zealand and raised in a small Australian town. His father drank a lot and didn't talk much. Music became Keith's way to make sense of chaos. He started playing guitar before he could spell his name, but shadows followed him. "I grew up in an alcoholic house," he said. "It took me a long time to believe I wasn't the same." By his 20s, Keith's music was becoming famous, but he had demons too. He drank to quiet the noise inside. "I thought it made me creative," he said with a sad laugh. "But really, it made me lost." Love came and went. One girlfriend said he was magnetic but unreachable. He wanted connection but feared being seen too deeply. By the late 1990s, friends helped him. He went to rehab for the first time. For a moment, things got better, but fame made everything harder. When they met. It happened quietly in June 2005 at a charity event in Los Angeles. Nicole arrived looking beautiful but careful. Keith was on stage playing guitar. Their eyes met. Keith thought, "She's way out of my league." Nicole laughed later, "He didn't call me for 4 months." Keith kept her number but was scared to call. Finally, he did. Their first conversation lasted hours. No fake charm, no Hollywood talk, just two real people who had been through hard times. They talked about childhood, family, loneliness, and fame. He told her sobriety was fragile. She listened without judging. That was enough. For Nicole, his honesty felt refreshing. For Keith, her calmness was like salvation. In June 2006, they got married in Sydney, Australia. The ceremony glowed with candlelight. Nicole wore a white dress. Keith whispered, "I love you," before she even reached him. To the world, it looked like a fairy tale, but underneath was a deeper promise to heal together. The struggle. Nicole burned her old diaries after the wedding. They were full of bad things, she said. She wanted a new start. But just 4 months after their wedding, Keith started struggling again. Old habits came back. Nicole noticed the changes. She had seen this before. So she made a choice to fight for him. She got his friends together and asked him to choose life. He listened. He went to rehab for 3 months. Nicole waited. She didn't defend herself to the tabloids. She just loved him from far away. When he came home sober, she was there with open arms. In that moment, something changed. Their marriage wasn't just about romance anymore. It was about survival. Keith said getting sober freed him. Nicole's love saved my life. The quiet years. They bought a home in Tennessee, far from Hollywood. It was surrounded by fields and silence. There, they started again. Their first daughter, Sunday Rose, was born in July 2008. 2 years later came Faith Margaret. For the first time in years, Nicole had a family untouched by Hollywood noise. They spent afternoons riding horses, playing piano, and chasing laughter. Keith said, "I'm just a husband and a dad now." Nicole seemed reborn too. Her laugh was freer. In every speech, she thanked him for being my rock. Growing apart. But peace can be fragile. Keith lived for motion, tour, crowds, music. Nicole finally wanted stillness. Her home was her refuge, her children her world. Slowly, their rhythms drifted apart. At first, it was small, a missed dinner, a postponed trip, but soon became later and later became maybe. There were still tender moments. Keith dedicated songs to Nicole at concerts. When Nicole's father died in 2014, Keith flew across the world to be with her. He sang Amazing Grace at the funeral. But beneath loyalty was exhaustion. They loved deeply, but they were tired. Friends noticed fewer appearances together. Smiles seemed more polite than passionate. At the end, on June 25, 2025, Nicole posted an anniversary photo with the caption, "Forever My Love." But people who looked closely saw distance between them. A week later, during a radio interview, someone joked about Nicole's romantic movie scenes. Keith froze, the call disconnected. The clip went viral. After that, sightings grew rare. Nicole appeared alone at events. Keith stayed longer in studios. They didn't need to say anything. Their silence said it all. In August, Keith sang on stage. He changed a lyric in their old love song. Forever became for a while. Millions heard it. By morning, it was viral. On September 29, 2025, People magazine confirmed they had separated after 19 years. On September 30th, Nicole filed for divorce. Keith said nothing publicly. At a concert days later, he whispered into the microphone, "Sometimes letting go with love is the hardest thing we ever learn to do." The real story. The truth wasn't about scandal. It was about patterns. Nicole had always been a rescuer. From age 23 with Tom Cruise, she learned that love could feel like duty. With Keith, she saved him from addiction and despair. But love that begins as salvation has an expiration date. When you're constantly holding someone together, you slowly come undone. By 2025, Nicole had spent 2 decades loving Keith through every high and low. She was weary of being the steady one, the forgiving one, the quiet one. A friend said she always believed love could fix people, but she realized she couldn't keep doing it alone. Keith knew it too. He was grateful, but guilt corroded even true affection. Their marriage started as 2 broken souls promising to rebuild. After years of rebuilding, only the weight of effort remained. Nicole told a friend, "I've spent my life saving people. Maybe it's time to save me." Moving forward. When the dust settled, Nicole didn't sit for interviews. She vanished into her daughter's laughter, morning walks, and scripts that felt like mirrors of her heart. Friends said she looked lighter, like she'd finally put something heavy down. "She's not sad, she's free," one said. Months later, when asked about the divorce, she smiled with earned wisdom. Pain is not permanent. You learn from it, grow through it, and then let it go. Keith changed too. His shows became gentler. He would pause mid-performance, eyes glistening, and whisper, "Thank you for teaching me what love really means." At a festival that winter, Keith played a new song. Its chorus said, "Love doesn't end, it just changes form." Fans wept. In 2026, Nicole said on stage, "I believe in love completely. I just believe it looks different every time." The lesson: when stripped of glamour, this wasn't about scandal. It was about survival. A young girl who once mistook control for love later mistook rescue for devotion. Finally, she discovered that real love doesn't demand sacrifice, it offers peace. Keith learned that fame can't fill silence, and that sometimes gratitude means knowing when to let go. In the end, Nicole didn't lose herself in love this time. She found herself through it. When she walked away, it wasn't from someone she stopped loving. It was from the version of herself that kept trying to save everyone else. The world called it a scandal, but she knew better. It was salvation. Because the most powerful love stories aren't the ones that end with happily ever after. They're the ones that teach you how to begin again, stronger, softer, and still believing.